Howdy there. Very excited that you're here, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about somatics and specifically the science of somatics. So let's get into it. My name's Matthew Cook, founder of Body Based Breakthrough, and let's get into it. So, we want to explore this fascinating world of somatic coaching and really ultimately how it helps us uh, live more fulfilling and aligned lives. And so I want to begin with a quote by Toni Morrison. Maybe you've heard of it. You know, they straightened out the Mississippi River in places to make room for houses and livable acreage. And occasionally the river floods these places. Floods is the word they use, but in fact, it is not flooding. It is remembering. Remembering where it used to be. All water has a perfect memory and is forever trying to get back to where it was. Writers are like that, remembering where we were, the valley we ran through, what the banks were like, the light that was there, and the route back to our original place. It is emotional memory, what the nerves and the skin remember, as well as how it appeared. And a rush of imagination is our flooding. I get goosebumps every time that I read that, every time that I hear that poem. And it's the reason that we're here, to remember these things. At our core, somatic coaching recognizes this really profound connection between body and mind. And it's a holistic approach that really goes beyond traditional talk therapy. And we're really integrating body-based practices to facilitate deeper transformation for our clients. Imagine this Venn diagram where somatics, mindset, and your role as a business owner, as a coach, they all intersect. And that's what modern coaching is today. And so somatics, we'll just take the first part of that word. Somatics derives from the Greek somatikos, meaning the living, aware, bodily person. And so the soma, or body-mind, as we might call it, cannot be separated. It's the unification of our thinking, our feeling, our acting, our perceptions, and our emotions. And so this is really distinct from this very Descartesian traditional view of the body and mind as these very separate things and sort of like a collection of parts. It's just all on a continuum in somatic coaching. This idea that the body mind are one and the same, that they all emerge from the same thing and are talking constantly in dialogue with one another. So this word somatics was first coined in the 1970s by a gentleman named Thomas Hanna, and he referred to it signifying this sort of multifaceted field of movement studies, body work, somatic practices, body-oriented psychotherapy, and that really emphasized the internal physical sensations and perceptions and experiences of the body. And so somatic practices are really utilizing this deep-seated connection that our body-mind have to facilitate an insightful survey of our internal self and enabling us to attentively listen to the signals that our body is sending us regarding areas of pain, discomfort, or imbalance. And so by fostering a really attuned connection with our body, we can start to garner a more profound understanding of how personal experiences are physically retained, held in our bodies, which really unveil rich information about sort of the nuanced ways in which we're interacting with our own physiological states and processes, but also the outside world around us. So high level, that's somatic coaching. And in many ways, traditional coaching often relies on what's called top-down processing, where we use our thoughts to really influence our feelings and behaviors. However, neuroscience is revealing that our bodies play a far more significant role than we realize. Bottom up processing is where sensations and experiences in our bodies, in fact, inform our thinking and even our emotions, and really account for 80% of our communication pathways. So I'm going to say that again. So we are bottom up beings. 80% of the communication in the system is the body communicating to the brain, sometimes called afferent, the afferent nerves communicating up. 20% is the brain down to the body, top down, which we call efferent. And this is why we say that your state creates your story. Your state, body state, creates your brain story. Pretty cool, 80%. And so in somatics, like let's just call it what it is. Body-based breakthrough, or somatic, our form of somatic coaching, is a bottom-up tool. It's one where we're setting up the conditions to be able to follow our attention rather than trying to focus it, meaning following the information, the wisdom of the body, rather than trying to focus or tell our body what to do. So it's very emergent. It's a very emergent way of being with our bodies where we attend to ourselves. And we're going to get these inspired actions from our bodies in a body-based breakthrough session. And it's because it's emergent from the language of the body or the wisdom of the body rather than the mind, right? As many of us, and don't get me wrong, I love goal setting. I love planners. Those are all fantastic. That's very top down. So instead, we want to be asking questions like, what's emergent? What's coming up? What are you noticing right now? And another thing that we'll say sometimes is take all the time you need with that. So last note I want to make here is that the body is actually 6 times slower to process or digest information than the mind is. It's kind of wild. So it's in many ways, it's first to pick it up. Our nervous system receives 12 million stimuli per second, and our conscious brain can only process about 40 to 50 bits of information per second. So again, 12 million, the body is picking up very quickly, and the mind can process about 40 to 50 bits of that. So in saying that, the body's picking it up really quickly, but it's also really slow to put it down. So the body is 6 times slower to process or digest information. So our minds are really agile. And our bodies, while resilient, take time to, as we say sometimes in the somatics world, bake. They take some time to bake sometimes. So that's part of our process in slowing down and going at the pace of the body. So I want to just give a quick process with you. I want you to experience a little bit of somatics, a little bit of finding safety in the body. So to begin, I want you to just allow your eyes to wander around your environment. We call this soft eyes. So we're not scanning with a lot of intensity, but instead I want you to just let your eyes walk away from your computer screen for a moment or your mobile phone and just take a look. Let the eyes go where they want to go. And notice where you're drawn as you look around. What things really draw in your attention? And, if there's messes or anything in your environment, we'll kind of like let those sit aside for a moment. And instead, I just want to notice like what things are maybe kind of enjoyable or even pleasant to look at. I have a candle, and it's a brown, it's like a really like warm, rich brown color. And it just like really calms me. It really settles me. And I also have several really beautiful, like bright green plants in my environment. Maybe you have a window by you. So we're starting to orient, just like a cat or a dog, when they come into a new room, they orient to their environment. So as you sort of start to orient to your environment, notice what you notice. They notice the world around them. And then I want you to, as you feel more and more comfortable, start to draw your attention back into you by just simply noticing your feet on the ground. Feel the sensation of your feet on the ground. We call this working the periphery. So you're just starting to slowly make your way into your body from the outside into the inside. So feel your feet on the floor and then feel your seat in your seat. And if you need to wiggle around, sometimes that actually helps a little bit to sort of feel the body. So I might sort of like gently rock back and forth and go, oh yeah, there are my sit bones. And I feel the sensation of my feet on the floor. And then maybe you even can feel your chair back of your chair. And sense yourself being held by your chair. Maybe even the sound of my voice in some way feels like you're being held a little bit in this time. And then if you want, you can gently draw your attention inward and just simply notice your breath. Where is it sitting today in your body? Is it deep in your belly? Maybe even all the way to your pelvis? Or is it in your torso, your rib cage? Maybe it's even all the way up in your chest or your shoulders. So just noticing it. And then again, you can slowly bring your attention back out into your environment. So, as humans, we're sort of always toggling between my attention being outward in the external world and environment and with other people, and then also inside. And so, just notice for a moment which one feels more familiar. You can bring your attention back inside for a moment, feel your breath, notice the sensations inside. And then bring your attention back outward. One of them presumably feels more familiar, and one maybe feels a little bit more foreign because we typically have a go to. One of us, we're usually very commonly drawn either outward or inward. It's a part of this work in somatic coaching that you'll begin to learn more and more about yourself. Let's talk about as we transition to the autonomic nervous system. So, the central nervous system is made up of the brain and the spinal cord. And the brain supports how we think, we move, we feel. Obviously, the spinal cord carries messages back and forth between the brain and the nerves that run throughout the body. And so the autonomic nervous system is going to, as it sounds, almost like automatic automation. The autonomic nervous system regulates our involuntary physiological processes like the heart rate or blood pressure, respiration, digestion, even sexual arousal. So autonomic nervous system. Ooh, we went a little far there. So I want to just show you, these are the waves of the nervous system. I want you to understand the nervous system's role. And so the autonomic nervous system is constantly scanning for cues of safety and danger, and it influences our response to stress, relationships, but even our ability to access creativity. And so somatic coaching works with this system to really help us regulate our responses, expand what's called our window of tolerance or window of presence, as you can see here in the photo. So we have what's called our normal range, our window of presence, window of tolerance. But it also ultimately helps us create a sense of inner peace. So in the best case scenario, right, there is an upward arc that happens when we're excited or activated throughout a day. And then a downward arc occurs when we begin to settle. And so when we have fight and flight and even freeze responses, those tend to take us in an upward or increasing arc of energy and action. And freeze responses tend to then lock us down into a downward or decreasing arc of energy and action. And so there are these different components of experience that are also enmeshed in with these arcs and and allow for an elaborate way of sort of changing the dynamics of the nervous system pattern when we work with our clients in session. So for you to just sort of have a better understanding of that, those potential components of experience that can become enmeshed, I want to explain what we call somatic signature. So this is really interesting. So the sort of grandfather OG of somatic coaching, his name is Peter Levine. Peter Levine. And he created a system that I've been through in his program called Somatic Experiencing. It's a 3-year-long program. It's very clinical. It's very therapeutic. It's incredible. Many of us don't have time for a 3-year-long program to learn these things, but he teaches something called SIBAM. SIBAM. It's an acronym, but I think more and I will say this very humbly, I think we, in a very fun and clever way, we call it somatic signature, which is to say that each of us carries a really unique somatic signature, a pattern of thoughts, images. I'm going to explain this a little bit more in a second. Behaviors, sensations, and emotions that emerge in different situations. So by becoming aware of these particular signatures that we hold, we begin to gain valuable insights into our triggers, our habitual patterns, which ultimately pave the way for more conscious change in our lives. And so another way to sort of think of it is like these 5 elements of human experience, right? Thought, image, impulse or behavior, sensation, emotion. Similar to how each of us have a really unique signature when we sign documents. Each headline, each question that we walk into a somatic coaching session with is going to hold a really unique meaning and significance to us, along with the various sensations and emotions, images, impulses that we may have to take action. And so these elements are all interconnected. Again, just to use another metaphor, almost like a spider web in our neural networks that fire together when we experience that situation or that headline. And so our work as somatic coaches, but also inside of a somatic coaching session, is to unpack our somatic signature. So to really gain further data points or new insights around that question, around that headline, along with ultimately an inspired action that's aligned to that data coming from our true self or our core self. And again, this is inspired by Peter Levine's work where he calls it SIBAM. So thought, image, or like a mental movie or a memory or a picture that I see in my mind, a behavior like a very primitive impulse that I might have, like to kick, to bite, to run, to punch. These are some very locked into our procedural memory. Then there's sensation and there's emotion. And so, again, the somatic signature is how we currently are experiencing the headline. So, I will say next steps, somatic coaching is gaining momentum yearly. And I would say it's really picking up speed. It's becoming more and more exciting, and with coverage from outlets like Forbes and LA Times and the medical news. I mean, it's all the Today Show showing its really powerful impact on our emotional, spiritual, and physical health. And so how can you harness body-based breakthrough to heal, make a lasting impact, and grow your business? Well, you have 2 choices. As I see it, you can experiment independently and reach mastery over several years, 3 to 5 plus years, which is lovely. Or you can fast track your journey with the Body-Based Breakthrough certification. We have a 3-month, 12-week, life-changing, life-transforming mentorship. And it's really designed to train you in our specific proven somatic techniques that create true transformation. And so this 3-month certification is meticulously crafted to help you guide your clients through deep and lasting change by leveraging the body's intelligence, the wisdom of the body. And so you'll gain holistic coaching skills beyond just mindset work and equipping you to ultimately support clients safely and confidently. And so it's a transformative journey of both personal and professional awakening, I would say. And so I just want to share a couple fun. I love these insights. So our graduates report not only new skills but also really profound personal growth. And so as a part of the body-based breakthrough or B3 community, you'll be surrounded by values aligned peers. We have weekly live calls, and you're going to benefit from in-person transformative experiences when we launch our retreats, which is something that we're also working on. So keep an eyeball out for that. But yeah, I want you to sort of imagine like a year from now that you could be grateful that you leaned into this journey. So whether you're an established coach wanting to deepen your impact with somatic techniques, or maybe you're a brand new facilitator, body-based breakthrough is going to equip you to transform lives and really build a meaningful career. So if you feel the call, we'd love to support you on the path. So go ahead, you can, if you want, you can book there should be a link around here to book a call with someone from our team. Could even be with me. And thank you for being here. I'm really excited. I'm excited for you to also check out our other master classes on the B3 methodology specifically, but also how to build a body-based business. And I'd be honored to be able to support you, to be able to mentor you on this journey of learning somatic coaching and creating a lasting impact for yourself and with your clients. So I look forward to it, and I'll talk to you really soon. Thanks so much.